Good evening, and welcome to Forge 2.0, Season 2, Episode 1. I'm your host, The Wild Man, and this is my awesome co-host, DJ Tiano. DJ, how you been?
Hey, what's going on, man? First, I just want to welcome everybody back to Season 2. All the listeners from Season 1, I hope you guys enjoyed our content. We're just getting better and better. To answer your question, Wild Man, I've been great. I've been, I've been growing, self-growth. That's our episode today. My business is flourishing right now amidst the pandemic. We've been, the volume of work has been coming in at high rates. So, things are going great, man.
Everybody's house went to hell last year.
Not only that, people are sitting around staring at their walls. They want to change. People are getting free money, free handouts.
Yeah.
So, it's done nothing. And my work speaks for itself. So,
not to toot horns.
Not to toot horns.
Oh.
I've been at it for 20 plus years. So, that's it? That's it. I'm only freaking.
Oh, yeah, you're only
39 years old.
Yeah, sorry. I forget. It's funny that I could sit there and say that. I was talking to my mother the other day. I was like, "You're going to be 50 in a few years." I go, "Yeah, Mom, slow down.
Yeah, don't rush my life." I tell everybody, don't rush my life.
Relax. Yes, because it's going to be kind of cool when I do reach 50. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. The only thing, I'm down on this week is our numbers last week for our show were kind of down. But hey, labeled depression, what are you going to expect? Nobody wants to hear about it.
True.
But I feel like it was one of our better episodes as far as being informative. So if you haven't listened to it yet, go back to season 1, episode 15, labeled "Fuck Depression," and yes, very colorful with that.
Fuck depression, not the fuck for depression.
So go back and make sure you listen to
check
it.
it out.
It's not as depressing as you would think it's labeled as. I think we really came around on that episode.
We did.
Had a lot of good.
Time.
A lot of good. It was a lengthy one.
Ooh, wow.
But we say, hey, listen in increments. Listen on your way to work.
15, 20 minutes.
Listen on your lunch break. Whatever it takes. We're all about growing and positivity. And I know depression doesn't sound too positive, but we need to get a good grasp on those around us who are depressed or ourselves who are depressed during this pandemic era, because things are very turbulent in most people's lives right now, and people could use any little bit of help they can get. So,
and we're definitely want to lift those people up too.
Yeah.
We're all on this journey together, as we all say.
Yes.
So you want to, we got to talk about it. It is something to talk about. Everything. It's not all. What is it? What does Rocky say? It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah. You gotta get hit and keep moving.
That's right. Nothing's gonna hit as hard as life.
You gotta hit those cow corpses. You gotta keep moving. So anyway, while we're talking about keep moving, self-growth, man.
Yes.
Today's episode
is self-growth, and we're gonna get right on to that after DJ hits us with last week's quote that I must have.
It's all right, man. It's season 2, man.
We're changing things up.
We're a little hyper about season 2.
We are.
Yes, we are. We're gonna do last week's quote. We talked a little about Robin Williams.
We did.
Talk about depression. Even the most successful, wealthiest people can be depressed.
Yes, and you don't know it.
Yeah, and you don't know it. Nobody knew.
No,
I don't think even his family.
From what I heard, his family, his wife didn't even know it. So
yeah. So we're gonna hit you with the quote from last week from Robin Williams: "A hungry stomach, an empty wallet, and a broken heart can teach you the best lessons of life." What do you think about it?
I think that's spot on. The only way you could change it. What is it? I've heard exactly that. They've just changed the words where empty stomach, no house, can teach you all the
proper lessons.
All the proper lessons you can eat. You don't want to be broke. You don't want to be hungry, and you don't want to be sleeping under a bridge, especially not with today's times. Yeah. But
survival of the fittest, man.
Yeah, I know.
That's where it really plays a role.
I know, but at the same time, we, as being fit people or succeeding, we also tend to look on as, well, why didn't you help? You could have done this.
Yeah.
I'm wholly against that.
What, my kid crying?
not against it. I'm sorry. I'm wholly for that, helping out.
Okay.
But the one time, if something happens, maybe a second time. But like after that, no, it's no. You can't do free handouts all the time because they won't learn.
Yeah.
And they won't learn to stand. It's not that they maybe not won't learn, but they won't learn to stand on themselves. They won't realize
Yeah.
their own potential if people are still constantly offering money.
Well, when people are in dire straits, that's when a lot of ambition emerges.
Yes.
You're when you're backed against the wall is usually when people do put in their best efforts.
Exactly.
So
They sit down. All right, what can I do? What am I good at? What can
Yeah.
I succeed and excel at?
which
So I don't have to be this anymore.
which is what the first step to self growth.
Yes. Yes. Instead of stumbling through life,
Yeah.
you wanna not be content in settle for mediocrity.
Yeah.
Minimal this, minimal this. No, you don't want to just survive in life. That's not why you were born. I'm pretty sure your parents were going, let's have a kid. And let's, only give him enough tools where he could just stumble through life, just making enough
Yeah.
to pay bills.
Yeah.
No. You want to enjoy life. You want to experience it. And when I mean experience it, I don't mean you get a job, you work your 9 to 5 till you're 60, you retire, then you try to watch your kids grow up. And no, it's too late. Okay? And times have changed in such a manner where you can't get by on sending 2 kids to college on just the husband's income, and the wife can take care of everything else, and boom, she's got it, and everything's good, and they can go on vacation. You can't do that anymore.
No. Well, that's one of my goals. Amid all the things that I'm doing, that is one of my goals is to work to the point where Andrea doesn't have to work anymore. She can take care of the kids, enjoy the time with them, which she does now. But she's working. We work opposite shifts, so it's like we don't enjoy the time together.
Yeah.
But the whole point is to grow until the point where you make money while you're sleeping. You've heard that before.
Oh yeah, I'm looking into it as we speak. I want to say on a daily basis, I either read something that's sent to me or something I'm fishing through or searching for, and I keep seeing it. And that damn Warren Buffett is constantly popping up on all my feeds about if you don't make money while you sleep, you're going to be working for the rest of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
And
the
I
goal,
don't want
man.
to do that.
That and having the 7 incomes. Is,
Yes, yes.
Who says that? Tony Robbins or?
Well, I think
a
they
lot
all
of the
do, but I got it.
successful
For
guys
me,
say
it was Warren Buffett was the
Yeah.
first one that if you want to be a millionaire, you need 7 sources of
And
income.
why wouldn't you listen to a guy that owns his own island?
You ain't lying.
Right?
Well, my big thing is, look, he's worth several billions of billions of. He makes billions of billions of dollars every year. He's had the same car for the last 13. He's lived in the same house, and when he spent, I think he said $35,000.
Yeah.
If we bought the house for, he still lives in the same house.
Yeah, man.
Billions. He's got billions.
Mind over matter kind of deal. Yeah.
It's like it's serious, and he didn't stumble through life. Granted, they jumped on the train, about this investing and all that, which I've been looking into. Maybe some side stuff we can do, some other business proposals, but there comes a time when you got to just stop stumbling through life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, today's episode, personal growth. It's pretty. You think it's a pretty plain cut definition to what it is, but I'll provide a little bit of insight to what I think it is.
Okay.
It's the process of which a person recognizes himself. Once they recognize themselves, they continually develop themselves to reach their full potential, which is what we mainly push on this podcast. We constantly say that you got to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
Take that leap.
Yeah.
And once you take that leap, you
start to build a better version of yourself.
And you get to the point where, it's an important part of your life is personal growth. Maturity, success, and happiness come all with those things. Sometimes referred to self-improvement and self-actualization.
Woo!
I'm sorry, man. I'm telling
Tongue-tied.
you, yeah. Tongue-tied. I'm trying to get it all out in one spit here.
He's tongue-tied and he's giving yourself a stutter. Relax.
The purpose of personal growth, though, is to improve one's habits, behaviors, actions, and reactions. A lot of the stuff you can see through the past episodes. I've been working on it, being more mindful.
Yes.
Being grateful for the things that, you should be definitely grateful for that you overlook on a daily basis. uh, succeeding in patting yourself on the back when you reach these smaller goals and things like that. So these are all parts of self growth. You know.
Most definitely, and enjoying each step, each goal that you reach.
Hmm.
Every time you pat yourself on the back, take a minute, enjoy it. Just don't that same minute. You can give yourself a day. Tomorrow, then you can jump to go to worry about your next goal or
Yeah.
think about your next goal. All right, where am I gonna? You got to give yourself time to rest, catch up your body. Oh, this feels good. Enjoy that moment because that right there is going to shoot those endorphins as we
Yeah.
talked about a little bit in last week's episode. The endorphins are going to pop. You're going to be like, oh, this is nice. I like this.
Yeah. And
What's next?
and a lot of the time I feel like self growth doesn't happen for every individual because they don't push themselves to their limits. If you set a limitation to where, okay, I'm content, I'm going to work 9 to 5, and that's your everyday outlook, then you're actually shortchanging yourself. Because you need to push yourself to the limits in order to exceed, that stagnant, rabbit hole that everybody gets stuck in. The big thing a lot of people say, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
I'm in this environment or I'm in this position because that's how it is, and this is how I get by, and I can't do anything to change it.
You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to
Yeah.
break out of that square. There is no
Learning to
square.
break the habit of laziness is, I don't really believe in laziness. I believe it's just something that we say in our minds. Laziness is kind of replacing, if you're not passionate about something,
Yeah.
of course you're going to be lazy about doing it. If you don't like the job that you're at, you don't want to wake up and go. You dub yourself as lazy, but lazy is just a kind of a mind state. And if you tell yourself to get up off that couch and go do something, and you keep telling yourself that, chances are you're going to do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to fall further into a slump, depression, and
See, I can take what you just said right there, the lazy, and I can change it to what type of employee are you?
Yeah.
Are you the worker or are you the team player?
yeah,
The worker is going to go to work. He's going to do the bare minimum what he can do for the job
or
just
even
to
the
get
leader.
just to get the check. Your team player, he's going to go above and beyond. He's going to give you that 150%, not 50, not 65 or 89. He's going to give you 150% every day because he wants to be a part of something. They want to feel like they're a part of something.
And to take that metaphor and take it out of the workplace, where if this is somebody else's workplace, but place it on an athlete's shoulders. You got the guys that break the mold and are just greats. You
Yeah.
got your Muhammad Ali's like hanging right there.
Yeah.
You got your Jordans. You got your Tom Brady's. These guys are the ones that show up. The first ones to show up. You always hear that. They're the first ones to show up and the last ones to leave. You know what I mean? And usually those guys, their mindset rubs off on everybody around them, which results in success.
Yes.
So,
His big thing, I want to say it after watching his movie and his what do you call him?
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali. I watched the movie with Will
Smith.
Smith, and then I started seeing like little blurs because I started following a bunch of boxing things on like Instagram, and you see the little fights he had here and here, and one of his things, while he's saying, I'm so mean, I make medicine sick, a thing he says, but one of his quotes was, he hated training. But he hated training, but he hated poverty more. So he would suffer in the gym doing all the training, so he could succeed and be a champion, be a legend in the ring. And for some reason, I don't know what it is, but whenever I'm looking through or if I'm looking through stuff, that always pops up somewhere in my feed. Some way I'm looking at something, and here, I'll suffer. I hate working out.
That's a great.
I hate training.
It's a great outlook for self growth.
It is.
The guy did what he had to do to be the best. You know what I mean? Even though he didn't enjoy it, sometimes you do have to do things you don't enjoy.
Up to a point. Now, with that being said, with what DJ just said, that doesn't mean to keep that job that's dead end. It pays your bills.
No, that's not what I mean.
Okay. Well, just in case somebody out there, you just said, wait a minute, how am I going to grow? You just said, you got to do what you don't like. No. you gotta. What he's meaning that is you gotta put the work in. Doesn't matter what you're gonna do, you're still gonna have to put the work in. You may not like to do that. You may just like, I'm gonna do this and I want something. No, you gotta put the work.
For
in.
example, I started DJing.
Mm-hmm.
I started receiving the benefits of enjoying it, and this is what I wanted. I want to play music. I wanted the dance floor.
Yeah.
And I started getting into events and things like that, and a lot comes along with it, more so than just playing the music. And I had to be a good speaker on the microphone.
Yes.
I had to be very good with communications with event managers. I had to do a ton of planning with the couples or whoever's throwing the event. So this was stuff I wasn't like aware. I mean, I was probably I was aware that I was going to have to do some of these things to get onto the stage. You see the big picture, but sometimes you don't see what it takes to get there. And as I was doing this, and I told you in the previous episode, I started to feel that burnout because I was working 60 hours a week, DJing Friday nights till 2 in the morning, and then going and doing an event for 12 hours on Saturday and potentially sometimes on Sunday. So I was starting to get burnt out, and I started to lose the reason why I did why I got into DJing, because I started getting tied up in all the things I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
But then once DJing went away because of the pandemic, and I kind of took I took a seat in the back for a little while. I tried to regain some of my stamina and regain some rest and things like that, and
Recuperate.
and focused on my other business.
Yeah.
Now that was gone, I missed it. So now, from that burnout, like I says, people tend never to push themselves to their limits.
Yeah.
I pushed myself to the limit that year.
Okay.
And now I know that I can put all my effort in, and it's probably never going to be, there might be times where it's a little bit more, crucial on me, that are more, it's just more energy. It takes more energy and things like that. But I already got to that point where I burnt out,
Okay.
and I probably can surpass that because I've already endured.
So you've made yourself stronger because of it. Now you can
Yes,
push
and
yourself
now I
farther.
miss it.
Yeah.
Now I miss it. So when I sit back and look, hey man, I was burnt out. I was tired. Now I miss it. Now I put a lot of effort into the painting business, and I'm up and at it every day. I'm a little bit more in tune with the front office things on the phone and all this stuff, because I worked myself so diligently, and I burnt myself out. And when I did take that rest, now I'm like fully regenerated.
Yeah.
So now I'm putting like more and more effort in. I know that I can put more effort in. I know that I can push the envelope a little bit more. And I know that I can endure that burnout.
Yeah.
The burnout only lasted, a month or so. Once I got back on track, and because of the pandemic,
Yeah.
obviously it pushed me back a little, my momentum back a little bit, but I'm ready to hop right back on that train when things are starting to look good, man. Things are opening up. We had the golf masters this week, big crowds. WrestleMania was this week, 25,000 people in the stands, 2 nights in a row. Like,
Yeah, no, I watched
getting back,
briefly
man.
the beginning of that. I don't know which one it was that I saw, but Lawler and them were talking about where they were talking about the 3 legends.
yeah,
And there's some other dude at the end of the podium they were talking about. But it's good to see everything starting to kick back up, and
yep. Now's the time. Energy's strong. Everybody got the rest. You know what I mean? Everybody should have took the time to self-evaluate themselves, which is the first step of self-growth. Where are you now? What's the situation now? Do you need to look for a new line of work? Are you looking to, grow your passion and get into something you enjoy more? Do you have to get back into the fold and make more money to hold up what you had going on before the pandemic? There's a lot of energy that has been harnessed over this last year that people need to self-visualize and understand for self-growth.
and I wish that. With that being said, I mean, I really wish that people would that actually did it. They take a step back to actually sit there and do. Okay, what do I need to change?
You have
I
to
remember
identify your strengths and your weaknesses.
I understand that, but at the same time, I feel even though we wish people took that time to re-energize, rest up, recuperate. Okay, do something, do what you got to do so you can be able to pay for everything. I know that
Yep.
not being able to work hit a lot of people, but at the same time, okay, so this doesn't happen again, because God forbid, we don't stop messing with biologicals.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
everyone's government seems to want to do. Instead of making us smarter, well, let's see how we can hurt people. Bunch of never mind. I won't use the word.
Yeah.
It almost came, but it's like, okay, I've got to change something so that if it does happen again, I'm good. We don't have to worry about no income. We don't have to worry about low income. We can just sit there
Live
and
within
boom,
the
boom,
means.
boom. See, people don't understand what that means. A lot of people. It seems like the richer you are, those people
Yeah.
are really the only ones that truly understand to live beneath your means.
I feel like if a lesson was learned through this whole pandemic, that would have been maybe the most emphasized lesson, like that everybody should have learned. Live within your means. I mean, some people benefited from this. Some people's business, like mine, has flourished. Whereas the exact opposite, the other business I'm in took a dive.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine all the people in and around that business that have been hurt and had to find new work and things like that. They had to learn how to live within their means, whether it meant going out and getting another job in a different atmosphere or avenue or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Like my, what does that tell you? I'm going to write that book, living on $20 a week, and it's doable. I mean, you're not honestly living on
Absolutely.
$20 a week, but I was such at a minimalist state, and I was still able to enjoy all the things I did.
You know where you hear that a lot? You hear that with actors, you hear that with athletes. I heard it through wrestling, people's documentaries. To get to their goal, they did what they had to do. They crashed on people's couches, they crashed in their car, they, put aside $20 a week for whatever, a day or however they went about their business. But you hear that a lot with successful people. So it all starts with conditioning yourself to live within the means.
Most
So,
definitely. Most definitely. Now, after you've stumbled through life and you've realized your self worth, how do you have to go about figuring maybe not so much what's wrong, but what needs to be fixed to help you realize your potential?
well, you
What
gotta
do you
look.
think?
You gotta look at what you want to improve and why you want to improve that attribute.
Okay.
You ask yourself, what am I supposed to do now? First of all, you gotta find what's important to you. The most important thing, self growth is going to be different for everybody. It's a different journey for everybody. It's usually the pursuit of happiness. Will Smith,
Good movie.
great movie. Like we say a lot on this podcast, is success to people is different. Some people it's money, but in real light, it should be happiness for everybody.
Yeah.
So you really need to target and find what makes you happy. So once you capitalize on that, then you know what you need to start doing to reach that goal.
Yeah.
So that's where, starting to write your goals down, starting to manifest, manifest your dreams. You got to
Yes.
go after what makes you happy,
This is true.
so
It's very true. I understand. Even though I know, and people will say, I know you're out there watching right now. Oh, I can't go after what makes me because I got to work. Yes, but I sat down and I don't remember where the link was, and we calculated out. Even if you sleep for 10 hours a day,
yep.
no, was it 8 hours a day sleeping,
This is something that I found out on my own journey
8 hours
to self
working,
growth.
right?
Yep.
That still leaves you with another 8 hours. So let's add where you actually sleep for the laziness.
I think
for 10
it's
hours.
somewhere around the average of 30 hours a week that if you work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 5 to 6 days a week, whatever it pans out to be, you minus your sleep, which obviously some people require more, some people require less. I require very little to next to none. I mean, 5 hours is good. 6 hours is great.
Well, the human brain only needs, 3.5 hours to recuperate. The human brain. Don't say no, it does. The human brain, there's science behind it. 3 hours to recuperate your brain.
And we're gonna have to find this and maybe post it on
Yeah.
our page so that
Yeah.
people can visualize it
Your
better.
body
I
might
know
not.
we're
Yeah.
probably off with the numbers, but I think it averages out to somewhere between 30 and 60 hours a week that we have downtime that we do nothing with,
Oh
whether
yeah.
we're watching TV. I
Making
mean, not that
excuses
you
for
can't
something.
learn something from TV because
Well,
there's
see, that's
documentaries
where
and
you have to watch what you. That's exactly the point. People think, well, I watch TV. Okay, what did you watch? You didn't, it's not that you were killing it. Maybe you watched a documentary on how to make money.
yeah.
Podcasting, flipping houses, cars,
That's
investing.
when I say you need to totally immerse yourself into what you want to be. So I told people on this podcast in the past that once I decided a DJ was the route I wanted to go, it was always in the back of my head that it was something I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Andrea was the one that says, do something that makes you happy. Like, I said, okay, I'm going to try the DJ thing. I went out, bought everything. I totally immersed myself. I started watching documentaries. I learned the origins of DJing. So on and so on. So you got to find the knowledge and the experience you need to get closer to your ideal self
Yes,
and what you want to make you happy. So
indubitably. Yeah, with me, it was I want to be able to actually watch and enjoy my family before I'm old. I wanted to stop making other people rich and working check to check, living
Yeah.
check to check. No, that's not right. And I figure, okay, what can I do? Well, I can make people laugh. I'm great at that. I've been told I have a magnetic personality. I tell people when I meet them, I'm an asshole, but I'm always the asshole that people want in the fold. They want part of their circle, be it to help out if they need somebody because I'm a big dude, or they need to relax because I can take.
now there's a few terms to like when people throw around you're an asshole. You know what I mean? It could just mean that you're outspoken and you just say what's on your
Oh,
mind.
that's exactly
It
why
could
I
mean
tell
that
them.
you're just a complete asshole dickhead that you're disgruntled with life and
Oh,
you,
no, no,
and
no. I tell them the answer. Well, some of them have asked, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm going to always speak speak the truth. I'm always going to say whatever's on my mind. I'm not going to sugarcoat things for you. I'm going to be there for you to help you up, back you up, support you. But at the same time, if you're screwing off and not helping yourself, I'm going to break my foot off in your ass.
you gotta do the best to find the resources to help you to reach your ideal state.
Yes.
There's workshops out there. There's many things that contribute to this, like social,
Yes.
emotional, intellectual, spiritual growth. You got to find all this stuff within yourself and within the resources that you put around you.
And
Networking.
there is time.
Networking is huge, huge.
Yes, I read an article the other day about networking. It was like, and I just stopped and I was like, Jesus, wow. Wow.
So when I say my business is flourishing right now, I've used many tactics that my father in previous business tactics does not use.
Okay.
He was predominantly word of mouth.
Yeah.
So this day and age with social media
Yeah.
and the way that you can bring communities together, there's pages within your city of suburbs or certain parts of your city that they create groups. So
Yes.
we're from this suburb. There's a group, for this suburb. There's a group for this suburb. There's a group for this suburb. And usually, what people do are they take to asking other people. It's again word of mouth, but on a
Yep.
much larger scale.
Who'd you use?
Who do you use, and are they people you can trust? Are they people that do the job efficiently? Are they clean? Are they meticulous?
Did they do a good job?
And I've compiled 7 to 8 years of pictures of our work, and the work speaks for itself. Then you sprinkle in the people that you've done work for. I love that term, sprinkle. You sprinkle in your recommendations, your reviews,
Yep.
and all that, and boom.
Boom.
We're like taking over the city as far as painting, and we're just like we're a very small crew, and people like that. People like the father-son team. People like the efficiency. People like communication. People like being respected. People
So
like
local business.
trusting somebody. Sometimes we pull up on a job site. We never even met the people. We did the estimate, whatnot. We spoke very limited. We walk in the house and they treat us like they're our best friends. Like, all right, we're going away for the day. The house is yours. Lock up when you leave. that's a big nod to
Oh yeah,
that we're
that
doing
they trust
something
you. Yeah.
right.
Oh,
You know what
definitely.
I mean?
Most
You're in
definitely.
people's homes.
You've got a reputation.
Yeah, I mean, not only are our names on our shirts, and you know, you can find us very easy, but a lot of people, you know, they get the job and they
Hmm.
screw off, like you
Yeah.
said, or they go off during lunch and have a few drinks, or they don't show up consistently. What do we say? Showing up is just showing up
Yeah.
is a
That's
big part of success.
it
So
is. You know. So with that being said, now you figured out what was wrong. You found out exactly. You realized how much you're worth, what you want to do. Now the object now is to work on yourself in a positive way, so you don't beat yourself up. You don't, more or less, you don't end up sabotaging
depending on your
yourself.
push, I
Hmm.
mean, sometimes beating yourself, like I said, if you don't push yourself to your limits,
Yeah,
you're not going to know what you're capable of.
this is true.
So, things like that. The next kind of question you ask yourself is, okay, when's a reasonable time
Hmm.
to start these? Like, how do you start? Where do
Yeah.
you start? You make a list of the activities and the events and the goals that you want to do is a checklist, to achieve your goals. So, how, how do you learn what's how do you learn what's all right? I apologize for technical difficulties I'm experiencing, the toddler stage, as you probably heard, but we're gonna get right back on track here.
That's right.
As I was talking about, it's first you have to uh, figure out what you want to do.
Hmm.
Once you figure out what you want to do, you have to find the times that you can put aside for
Hmm.
outside of working and doing all the things necessary to pay your bills.
Yes.
Completely immerse yourself, and we live in the day and age where everything is at your fingertips. So you want to learn something that you always want to learn. You want to play
Yeah.
guitar. You want to get in the band. Um, Anything, whatever floats your boat, pretty
Yeah.
much. You have to immerse yourself. You have to totally figure out who you want to be and what you want to be in order to grow, or
Hmm.
else you're not going to grow.
Nothing.
So
Nothing. And you've got to make the time, and there is time. Okay.
there is time.
You can, even if
That
you've
is the
got
false.
kids. There is time.
That is one of the biggest fallacies that we fall back on is when you
I don't have
hear
time.
people, I don't have time. I don't
Excuses.
have time. I, for one, have used that a lot. And in my position, there is not a lot of time
Hmm.
extra, but I've somehow made extra time. I sometimes burn the midnight oil,
Hmm.
I, you know, and I'm tired the next day, but I achieved something that I wanted to achieve. So sometimes you got to ask yourself, is it worth burning that midnight oil? Is it worth staying up? Is it worth being tired the next day?
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
There you go. There you go.
I know that was from a movie. I saw that the other day. I was looking at something in a magazine the other day about squeezing juice. I was like, is the juice worth the squeeze?
So, another question you could propose to yourself or ask yourself is how self growth can actually change your life.
Hmm.
So, it can help you in all areas of your life. It can help you with work, it can help you with relationships. Psychologically, it can help you. You could become more loving, more compassionate, more positive person,
Hmm.
doing away with the negative habits,
Yeah,
all this
most
stuff.
definitely.
Learning to control your anger, learning to overcome the urge to procrastinate, which is a big one with a lot of people.
Yes.
I mean, that's usually the void that you fill with, I don't have enough time.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
procrastinating
Hmm.
to do something.
I've that was one of my issues was procrastination, and I turned it into where I'm probably right now. I'm probably about 87% taking it out of my life. I still have moments
Procrastinate.
where I procrastinate. So what I've learned to do is once I wake up and I have my little morning feed, I do what I got to do right early in the morning before I sit down. I wake up, do what I got to do. This, and
This is
this.
something
Boom,
I'm
boom,
also
boom.
learning to do. And I balance and juggle a lot of things in
Hmm.
my life. So to call it procrastination is I mean, the right term for it,
Mm-hmm.
but am I really procrastinating? Not really. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just kind of prioritizing.
Okay.
So, the important things that I know that need to be done come first.
Mm-hmm.
You got to kind of prioritize these things. And then with that time at night or that time, you take that time. And sometimes when you do procrastinate, it puts your back up against the wall and you do the job a little bit more diligently than you would to begin with.
Yeah, but at the same time, doing it more digitally, it adds some undue stress onto you, which can ultimately, if you back
Anxieties,
that up, and
that's
then
the
you can develop things.
anxieties.
Yes,
And then that's the back end of it. But again, everybody's journey is different.
this is true.
Everybody's approach is going to be different.
You could always look at it like this. Okay, some people enjoy those lazy times because they can shut off from everything else they have to do. Get everything done early in the morning, and then you've got a couple hours, an hour or two, where you could be lazy and not do anything because
Yeah.
you know why? Everything's done.
I'll tell you what, success is like a drug.
Oh yes.
So the more and more you succeed, the more and more you want.
The more money you make, the more money you
So
want.
almost that procrastination takes a back seat. That laziness that I believe is false. You've heard me say that earlier. Laziness, I think, is just something that we tell
That's
ourselves.
an excuse.
It's an excuse. We don't want to get up. We don't want to move. But usually, for instance, when people say, the hardest part is getting to the gym. Once you get there, you're like all in.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
you're good. Once you get to the gym, yeah, even if
It's
it's
that first leap, the taking that leap. You know what I
a
mean?
slow workout, you're working out. See, and that's where, with what you're saying, that's where people fail, I think, a lot to see that. Well, no, I didn't get a good workout, but you got a workout in. You didn't sit at home flicking your
Yeah. Scrolling.
No, you went in. You got a bad workout in, but you got a workout. So you go to the gym the next day, and you do the other body parts. You still got a workout in.
As you heard me many times, because this is something new that I've embraced, meditation, you're not always going to successfully meditate. You can try, you can attempt, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. Your mind's too active, but you did it. And along with that comes the breathing technique, which is really what you're focusing on. So as long as you still completed the breathing technique, you essentially kind of did the workout, like you're saying. You didn't get a great workout in, but you still did
But
it.
you got the breathe in it.
You're building your so to put it into workout terms, you're building that muscle memory. So with your brain, you're building that muscle memory within your brain. You did something, and the more and more payoff you get, the more likely you're gonna go back. You know what I mean? So your arms start to get bigger. You're gonna want to go back and you're more defined, or you're gonna want to take weight off and put more muscle on and things like that. So
One could almost say, with what DJ's saying, that you might have not found or gotten closer to enlightenment in your meditative,
yeah,
minutes, but you got the breathing conditioning down. You've kind of almost conditioned your body, because you obviously, if you can't get your meditation and you can't get to that spot where you're only thinking of one thing or nothing, now you've learned to still breathe and maintain self-control while you hear all this going on, and you're just breathing. You're breathing. You may not be one with the universe, but you are becoming one with yourself and learning to control and to harness that. You use it as fuel. All right, what do I got to do?
the main objective is to find where your thoughts are coming from and understand where those thoughts are being birthed, so that you can change that mindset, so you
don't react to them right off.
so you don't react in anger, so that you
Yes.
can control your anger, you can control your laziness, you can control your procrastination. Something that I lack is, but I don't really consider lacking.
Feels like pantyhose. Sorry to stretch. I
What are
just
you
touched
talking
it with
about? You're
the little screen thing. I just touched it with my nose, and I'm like, this feels like panty.
talking about
Nom, 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 nom.
talking about trying to understand where your thoughts are coming and going.
I have no idea where that thought come. You're talking, and I just see you talking into the thing, and I'm just. It happens to
You,
hit my
sir,
chin. I'm
need to
going,
practice meditation.
what the hell? It's like pantyhose touching. But go. I'm
But
sorry. Go
anyway,
on.
I was saying one of the things that I feel like I lack is exercising and healthy diet. Now, I don't eat like a complete pig. I
Mhm.
don't just go to McDonald's and roll around in fries and, soak up the
It's
cholesterol.
not an image I wanted in my head. Hold on, give me the large
But I
wing.
also
Yeah.
I don't have a regimen, like a great
Mhm.
healthy diet. These are things I would like to work on, but
Mhm.
they're kind of, low on the totem pole.
Mhm.
For some people, they might be the first thing to becoming healthy and
Mhm.
more, just being more apt to doing
Yeah.
things. You gotta have that. Some people they become hangry. You know, you've heard that term. Everybody uses it now. I mean, Snickers commercials. Are you a diva? Or now they're
They get.
using it in every. Those are some great commercials, by the way.
Yeah. 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 No.
But yeah, a very simple and beneficial way to grow your personality is to look at your actions of your life with an unbiased and an open perspective.
Mhm.
So that allows you to, unbiasedly look at yourself in the mirror, per se. And once you figure these things out, you're more mindful. You're more, you train yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of it is training, man.
It
Self
is.
growth is
Yeah.
comes a lot with training yourself and conditioning,
Yeah.
mentally, physically, spiritually. Conditioning yourself is
So that you can do
very
better, that
important.
you can succeed, so that you can actually live. You can not just live life, that you can enjoy it.
Hmm.
Because nobody was made just to survive and outline somebody else's pockets full of money
Yeah.
while you're broke. And yeah, most of your bills might be paid, but that is just surviving. And I'm sorry, it's that simple. We weren't put on. Our parents didn't have us just to survive.
No.
Okay.
Um, while you're on that topic, working for someone else and doing things for other people's benefit, but you're obviously working for money or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, not so much as judging other people, but just observing other people's lives that are
Mm-hmm.
successful. Um, the actions and behaviors of others can help you. Essentially,
Oh
if
yes.
they're what you want to become, or if they're a good example of what you want to become,
Mm-hmm.
you can take away the good things that those people do and use them to your benefit. So,
That's he. Now DJ just brought something up. I don't know if a lot of you know who Grant Cardone is. Cool dude, knows his stuff. Let me tell you. He was talking about, people talk about they want to be a pilot, they want to fly the plane. Grant wants to own the plane, and he just bought a plane.
well,
He bought a plane. But he says he runs into a lot of people where they ask the wrong questions. Like they ask these people that are rich or that have these things, how much did that cost?
yeah.
That's the wrong question. The question should be, what did you do to get that?
Yeah, I've heard that actually recently.
And he said that, and I
I
was
don't know
just
if it
like,
was from him, but I've heard
oh
that.
my God.
I've heard that quite a bit
Yes, we
recently.
do. We failed to. We go. How much did that
You ask all
cost?
the wrong
You
questions.
do, and
So,
it's like, okay, what did you do to get that?
so when you're working for somebody that is a model of what you want to become,
Mm-hmm.
or you see somebody and you have an opportunity, say you go to one of these seminars where a famous person is
Mm-hmm.
speaking, and you get an opportunity to ask a question.
Yeah.
So Al Pacino was here in town one time, and
Okay.
people were all asking questions. And I think it was my brother who said he attended it, or somebody said they were. I don't remember if it was my
Okay.
brother or not, but um, they said they were just asking all the wrong questions. I mean, you get one chance to ask Al Pacino a question. He's pretty informative.
Yeah.
He's pretty successful, I'd say.
Oh yes.
You get people that, what's a garbage? Have you tried a garbage plate from Rochester?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dude, you're asking Al
Or
Pacino a
hey,
question.
can you say the line? Say hello to my little friend for me.
Yeah, they're going about it
Yeah.
all wrong. They're there because they're starstruck. They want to take pictures with the guy. They're not picking his
They
brain
don't
for.
think, oh my God, I would be picking the hell out
Yeah,
of. Well, and with that too, a lot of people. I was explaining to a few people where in martial arts, a lot of the times now it's, oh, I can beat that person, I can beat that person, I can beat that person.
Hmm.
That's not the thing. It's not the whole goal is to be able to beat your Sifu,
Yeah.
okay? Or talk to somebody like, oh, I could, Michael J. White or Scott Adkins, Van Damme. It's not. You don't want to beat these people. You could spar with Bruce Lee. This was a big thing back in the days. If you know anything about martial arts, when you sparred with somebody better, it wasn't about beating them. It was absorbing everything you could learn, their moves, their technique, how they breathe, how they,
Absolutely.
how they, their each strike, how they kicked, everything. How his eyes movements, body movements. Did he telegraph anything? It was what you could learn from this person, not I can beat this person. What can I learn from them?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it blows my mind that people are just, oh, I could do this. I could do
And
it.
today's MMA, which wasn't really big back then,
Mm-hmm.
now people are dialing into stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you see these guys are on a whole nother level.
Oh, yeah.
Royce Gracie probably being one of the top
Oh,
guys
most
that
definitely.
everybody
Yeah.
modeled themselves after. And, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
I've been looking into. I've been thinking about getting into something like that. But I
I
was
would love to get my kid into something like that, but he doesn't seem
my.
too indulged into it.
I look at it though, and I know it's not rolling around. It is it is bending and locking.
Self-defense and a lot
But
of that.
I've always been more of a striker. That's the thing. I know a ground game is
Just
good.
get yourself a heavy bag, man.
I have one.
There
I
you
got to
go.
set it up.
There you
That's
go.
all I got. I got bricks in the backyard. I got a steel pipe. I throw the cinder blocks. I weigh them on my scale, 50 pounds. Throw it 52, whatever, 55. All right, throw them on there. I do curls. I can do benching. I gotta get out there and I gotta build my. I built myself a heavy bag stand, but then I broke it after I kicked the.
Well, you gotta learn. You gotta, you gotta do something to make it better, bro.
I
So
know. I gotta do. That's why I've been thinking about just taking a 6x6, pressure treated, put it in the ground, and just get old tires, throw them out, and then duct tape the tires,
yeah.
and then just pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
So
All right. So we gotta ask ourselves, what are some strategies for personal growth? Just keep learning,
Yeah.
learning. Education always has ramifications
Yes.
to bettering yourself. I've taken up on this myself.
yeah, with the
I'm
reading
always
or
I'm
listening.
always learning.
Mhm.
I've always had a passion for learning just weird things.
Okay.
I'm one of those people that if I'm turning on the TV, I'm not turning on a sitcom. I'm what on earth is this, or how was this made, or I'm always looking into things that we don't know. So learning is just huge, man. Yeah, the reading is huge. I mean, successful people, I guess they read a book a day. Is there a book a week? What is it?
1 to 2 books a week.
Yeah, something like that.
And that's what they do. It's just like every day you're reading, you're finding new ways to better yourself.
Yeah.
It's not, granted, I don't read as much as I should. Well, let me rephrase. I don't get into books anymore like I used to. And I do. I need to. It's just books have suffered and they're raising the prices. Some of the books where you could get them for like $7, $10, it's going up.
Well,
And I don't mean like your
so
storybooks. I mean like your
I've
your
taken the
learn books.
route of Audible.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, I can read.
Yeah.
But sometimes my mind is so active I can't process what I'm reading. Even though I'm reading it and understanding it,
Yeah.
it takes a lot for me to process it. I might have to read the page 3 times over.
Ooh.
So I've turned to Audible while I'm at work because I have that opportunity.
Yeah.
Because I stare at walls all day, literally. And I've taken that opportunity. It's $14 a month. You get
Okay.
1 credit, so you could get 1 paid book a month.
Okay.
And then they offer, umpteen freaking
There's all
free
kinds
ones.
of deals. Yeah.
There's all free ones. You type in the search bar, you can find 10 free books, and then maybe that month take that credit and use it on the one book that you really want, really are into. So definitely start reading more, learning
Audible.
more.
You said it
Yeah,
is.
Audible.
Audible.
Yeah.
You heard it here. Forge 2.0.
Yeah, it's an app. It's it's great. It's done nothing but great things for me.
Okay.
Another tactic, or another strategy for personal growth is to volunteer your time. Just volunteer your time and see opportunities that that are wonderful ways to do good,
Mm-hmm.
learn new skills, gain valuable perspective through things that you might volunteer towards, coordinating, all types of things you can learn through volunteering.
Yep.
Personal development by growing your ability to empathize for other people and things like that. So that's definitely one that's up there. I've volunteered not too often,
Okay.
but I hear nothing but great. People through the pandemic. A cousin of mine,
Yeah.
he was bored. He had to get out of the house. He started volunteering for the fire department. I gave him something to do. Gave him a bunch of guys to talk to. He learned a lot of stuff. So experiencing new things and places.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You can do this through volunteering, through traveling, vacationing. That's huge.
Yeah.
You can really find yourself if you get away from what's driving you to be unhappy with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, be that person that you are that you're on vacation
Mm-hmm.
is a good way to understand who you are. Because when you're on
Oh, I like
vacation,
that.
you're
Yeah.
pretty much letting yourself go.
Yeah.
You're letting yourself be you.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the beach. You're socializing. You're talking. You're doing the things that you like to do
Mm-hmm.
that you don't get to do every
Of
day.
course. Yeah.
So therefore, you're finding yourself. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I go on vacation, I can hardly sleep
Mm-hmm.
because I'm in a new environment. There's a ton of things going on that I want to learn about the city, the
Mm-hmm.
place. There's tranquil places. I
Yeah.
find myself sitting on the beach 3, 4 in the morning because I can't do that stuff at home.
Mm-hmm.
And you do some deep thinking. You're looking at the stars. You're asking questions. You're
Yeah.
finding
Oh,
yourself.
most definitely.
So just getting creative. Creative drives a lot of things that all the potential that I've had
Mm-hmm.
towards different avenues. Just being creative. That's always been a staple of myself. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was always that kid that sat in the room, when I was by myself or I wasn't out playing with friends and stuff. I created poems. I drew.
Yeah.
I told myself, I want to learn how to draw.
Mm-hmm.
How hard can it be to draw a line? So I kind of got that mindset, and I just taught myself how to draw. So creative promotes self-awareness. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good aspect of growth and development. Uh, Making health a priority.
Oh, excuse me.
Ooh,
Ooh,
that came
little
from the
agita.
bowels. That
Yeah.
came from the bowels.
Woo.
So making health a priority.
Yes.
We all know where that is, where that goes. Healthy mind, healthy body, sleep,
Yeah. Yeah.
all that stuff plays a role in self growth. If you're constantly running yourself into the ground, you're not
Yeah.
aware of things going on, your vision's blurred, you
The
know,
mind leads, the body will follow.
evaluating your life. Like it says,
Yeah.
you have to be self aware of the key aspects of yourself. If you don't know this stuff, you're never going to find what you want to be. Simple as that.
There you go. It's that simple. It
Yeah,
really is.
it kind of is. I mean, a lot of people contort things beyond what it needs to be,
I would say there's a lot more than a lot of people.
Yeah.
I would say almost half of us.
Managing your time.
Yep.
We
It's a
could go
big
there.
one. Yeah, we're not going to
So,
go there because
no.
that's just
We already
beating a
kind
dead
of
horse.
told you.
We did. We did.
You got to
But we
manage
don't
your
want-
time, man.
But and and all in all, you've got to trust in yourself. Okay, you've got to not be scared. Trust-
Confidence.
You got to have it. Maybe we should do an episode about confidence. I don't think we've had that yet.
No, it's huge.
It is.
As I said the term before, and you kind of laughed at it, and you found it nasty in a sense, but confidence is a stain you can't wipe off, man.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting.
But it's kind of
Oh, that's great.
you walk in a room confident,
Yes.
and nobody could take that away from you. You
No,
can't
no,
wipe that stain off.
Unless
It's-
you let
it's
them.
kind
Yeah,
of
unless you let them.
unless you let them take that from you.
Yeah.
If you think and care what other people think, they're gonna be that Clorox to that stain. So,
Whoop.
you got any more questions over there on your little
No,
pad?
we cleared every. We gotta. I feel we got some good information out. It was a little more upbeat from fuck depression, which is why I gave the title that episode because I figured I wanted us to come out boom, I can beat this. I understand everybody, a lot of people have it. You can still live a productive life with that. Now we're coming in, we're self growth. We want to realize our potential. We all want to forge a better version of ourself.
Correct.
You know, you want to live. There's so much. You know, people like to joke with me about if I were to ever come across, if I honestly were to find a vampire and they were indeed real, because let's be honest, they probably are. But what do humans do? If we can't turn it into a weapon and we can't get what they have, we destroy it. So why would they go around saying, "Hey, this is me"? You know what? I'd be like this right there. Right there, buddy. Think away, because there is so much to do on this planet. So much to see. There are so many people I'm pissed off that I wasn't able to talk to. You know? I don't want to get anything from these, well, monetarily. I would love a chance. There's so many stars I would like to talk to. I'm pissed off. DMX left us. Minga.
Rest in peace,
You know,
X.
I put it on there. One of, I think it was Ciara's did a thing on there, and I put under there. I was like, he was so, you know, just what you can achieve, and just so, you know, powerful, and you know, and pushing and motivating.
He was a
people.
big inspiration to
He
me in my
was.
teen years. I mean, people think, oh, rap music, you know, whatever. It's
Yeah.
sometimes the driving force behind the person.
It's the negative attitude, you know, the negative connotation they have with rap. Oh, you know, the
That's
whole
just
back,
their outlook on
rap
rap.
made me do this.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. Your crappy parents made you do that.
Yeah, yeah,
But that's another episode.
yeah. I'm gonna start dubbing these little like sentimental moments you get towards the end. You know how Full House? Did you ever watch Full House growing up?
Did hated
And
that
then at
show.
the end of the episode, Bob Saget would put it all out there in the music. It'd get all like,
All sappy.
yep. So we're gonna dub these little rants that Wild Man goes on, the Full House moments.
We're gonna have a little wild man moment here. Man, it pisses me
So,
off.
talking
So
about
much.
moments and segments, let's get
Yes.
into Choose Your Destiny.
Boom, 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 boom.
All right,
boom.
but before we get into this week's Choose Your Destiny, I want to revisit last week's
Okay.
because I kind of put it out there a little late. I just wanted to go over the results of last week's
Oh yes.
because they took a pretty big swerve. So we had, because it was depression, we were talking depression,
Yes.
things that people would like to do,
Mm-hmm.
you know, outdoor activities,
Yeah.
indoor activities, and outside the home or nature's therapies.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big, huge landslide of outdoor activities. It took
Like
18
outdoor, or the
outdoor,
other
taking
outdoor?
walks, enjoying nature,
Okay.
riding bikes,
Gotcha.
swimming, and so forth, which was the one that I believe that you went with.
Yes.
So that won by a landslide of 18 votes.
Oh, we
ind-
gotta change that.
Indoor activities, you know, there was only 4 votes. So I think people during the pandemic are just tired of being inside. And yeah, I just want to kind of revisit that because we had a whole slew of votes come in after the fact. So I just
Gotcha.
wanted to kind of go back to that. So let me scroll back up to our.
Right.
Again, I didn't get this out till about 6 hours ago. I got to work on putting this out the day before so we get more results.
Yeah.
But we have a little definitive winner here. So, but we're gonna ask you first. Choose
Okay.
your destiny. Basically, what music genres stick around, and the other genres disappear. Now, I grouped a bunch of them that most likely
I briefly
came
saw
from.
that.
They most likely came from each other or inspired the next genre.
He was a real bastard with this.
And
one.
I like to make them difficult. I like to
Oh
put
no,
heavy
that's
hitters
good.
in
That's
there.
good. Yeah, you did. This
Yeah,
one definitely
so-
made it difficult.
So we got classic rock, blues, alternative rock, metal. Okay. And we got B, pop, culture, country pop, dance pop, anything poppy. You know, Michael Jackson,
Poppy.
anything top 40.
Oh, see, you're
He's the king of pop, man.
Yeah, that's true. He is. Minga.
I mean, you got to throw. You know,
Yeah, you do.
I don't know if you would consider some of his music R&B, but he was known
No, he
the
was
king
the
of
king
pop.
of the pop. Yeah.
So.
King of pop. King of the pop.
And then king of the pop. And then you got your third option: hip hop, R&B, funk, and Motown. Choose your destiny.
See, that's a toughie right there. Minga, you all so good because I listen to everything except for screamo and gospel.
K-pop? You're into K-pop, huh?
I,
You said you listen to everything, bro.
I do, and I have brushed upon the K-pop. I think so. I don't know.
Did you listen to your bluegrass albums on the way over here?
No, no, no.
So you don't listen to everything. You just
I do. Well,
the
no,
majority of the main.
I'm listening. I've listened to everything. I do listen to
You have
some
a wide
bluegrass.
spectrum.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
spectrum is all over. Without gospel, I can't do that.
As
And
so do I,
screamo. Oh
being a
my God, that
DJ,
screamo is just
obviously.
insane. But I almost have to go because I use. I like uplifting stuff, and while I do enjoy a good Motown song, it wasn't. Oh, I don't know because see, you're killing me over
Let's
because
put
you
it
got.
out here. We enjoy all of it,
I do. Yes, I listen to
but the
all of
name of
it.
the game is to choose
It
one.
is. It is. Oh, you're killing me because you're taking away.
You're
If I
killing me,
pick
Smalls.
one, you are. You're killing me. You're taking my walking on sunshine. You're taking away my man in motion. Oh man, from those '80s movies,
Funk,
man.
George Clinton,
Oh,
Atomic Dog.
but as of right now, I like to listen to some of those old songs because they really lift you up. But I like a lot of that alternative rock because they put it in with certain cartoons or like the
Yeah, your
animes that I
anime. You
check
were
out.
telling me about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it just, you're like, Mingy, I like this. It gets you. I mean, you sit there, albeit some of it is just, it sounds like, yeah,
Yeah.
like they're crying about something.
Yeah.
But like Seether,
Yeah. I know. See there.
oh man, you're just a effing lie or whatever that song is, a remedy. Fake It. Oh my God, that's a great song. Lands
And
down
don't
in
forget,
one
you also
shot.
got blues in that mix. You got classic
That
rock.
is true.
You got Ozzy, Led Zeppelin. I
That's
mean,
true.
it
So
could go on forever.
I'm gonna
Pink
have to go
Floyd.
with the alternative rock, and then so whichever one that
Well
is.
done. Well done. Obviously, there's no winner.
No, I know, no.
We just go by the general consensus
What
of
the
our
what
posts.
the population
Yeah. And
likes.
we ask you because
Yeah,
you're the host. So
there we go.
we play this game.
That's right.
So we had a total of 10 votes thus far. I'm sure they'll climb
Yeah.
through the next few
Since
days.
it was only 6 hours.
6 hours
before.
ago. Yeah. But anyhow, that came in second place.
Okay. Oh.
So hip hop, R&B, funk, and Motown took number one.
Yeah, I figured. Well, because people grew
There's
up
a
on that
lot.
Motown.
There's a lot in those genres. I mean, there's
There
a lot of
is.
great.
The funk and the Motown. That's
you can
why
even
it's
go
hard.
back to
Ain't no mountain high
Sam
enough.
Cooke.
Yeah.
You can go back to. You can take any of those people from that era. And then hip hop, obviously, is.
Hello. Is
See,
it me you're looking for?
see, I grew up in the '90s, so therefore, hip hop was very influential to me.
Same here.
R&B, I am a sucker for R&B.
That would have been
Always
my
have been.
choice, but I mean, that to me is music. I mean, really, music when you're either dancing or when you're sitting around, you don't have to do anything, or you're chilling out. For me, it's great music.
I was very in tune to relationships, and
Mm-hmm.
I've had many relationships, and R&B always just struck the chord when I was down and out, or I needed,
Yeah.
I needed something to listen to that coincided with my situation and things like that. So R&B is huge for me.
I hear you.
I mean, I can listen. I probably listen to more R&B than I do hip hop at this state of
Mm-hmm.
life.
See, I look at that with what you said, and I use like the alternative rock or the classic rock, and I just hulk out. I change into who I need to be
Yeah.
to overcome any obstacles and enjoy life.
I just love and funk, boy. I
Yeah,
love
I know,
me some
I know.
funky stuff.
I know.
You know,
George Clinton, I know.
throwing some James
Atomic
Brown,
Dog,
man. Throwing some James Brown.
Why must I
It
chase
makes-
the cat?
It makes me, he can almost fall under rock and blues too. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of these you can blur the lines
Mm-hmm.
with. Some people are
See, I can do some
multiple-
blues, like if I'm making dinner or cooking breakfast. Oh my God, I can
blues
sit there
have
and get down
taken
to it.
blues have taken almost top priority out of all genres
Hmm.
in my later years. It's chill.
Your later years, like
Dude, I'm
my
getting up there.
seasoned. I'm getting seasoned over here. Be 45 this year, Minga.
All right, so that was this week's Choose Your Destiny. And before we get into the pod shoutouts, I just want to extend a very big thank you to all of our supporters, all of our listeners. As we continue to grow
Yes,
this things, you guys will come with us on the ride.
Everyone in the group. Everyone in that group.
Everybody
that
in the
you-
group,
we got on. we
please
started,
share,
Yeah.
invite people.
Talk more.
Talk more,
Love the
yeah.
engagement.
Yeah.
Love the engagement
Yeah,
that we're getting.
the inspirational stuff I'm putting up, I hope that stuff is getting you guys through your week, maybe lighting a fire up under your asses.
There you go.
we're taking the ride with you, man.
Yeah.
So,
We're in it to win it.
yeah, and hey, you guys, if you want to just chat, hit us in the DMs. Hit us with that email, wild man.
Yes, it's choose your destiny 2.0 at gmail.com.
There you go. There you have it. Again, we appreciate you all.
Yes.
So much so, those in the podcast community, we like to give a shout out every week.
Hmm.
Thus, therefore, we call this segment Pod Shoutouts. We want to see you
Yes.
guys all succeed. We
Hmm.
want to see you guys just have fun and
Yeah.
enjoy, even if it's a hobby, just enjoy the hell out
Yes.
of it because
Yes.
this trend is taking over
Use it to keep.
podcasting.
You know what? It's cheaper than drinking.
It's grounded me, dude.
You
Like,
can use this as therapy. You just sit on there, throw a mic up, and talk into your camera, or do it live.
besides me and you chatting up a storm every week
Mhm.
and touching down on topics that need to be talked about,
It's a good thing you didn't say topics that need to be touched. That would have just been weird.
I've expanded conversations throughout the world. I've talked to people all over the world,
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it.
other successful people,
Mhm.
not so and as we talked about it earlier, ask the right questions, man.
Yes.
Like, talk to these people and ask the right questions.
Yeah.
If there is any avenue of something that you're looking forward to getting into, hit that search bar, and there are millions of people out there in these groups that share views or discuss views about the things that you like and
Yes.
enjoy.
But that's huge. Asking the right question.
It
It's
is.
not always the obvious question. Think. Let your stars just wiggle for a minute. Think before you just run. If you happen to come up with somebody that is inspiring you, or has reached you in certain ways, actors, other what are they? What are the rappers or MCs, whatever they
Yeah,
are,
whatever.
whatever they're called? I don't
All of
know the full term of all of them, but I know a lot of people get star struck. That's why sometimes they say never meet your idols, because you're always, a lot of times you get let down because they're not who you see.
Yeah.
you
See,
know?
I was never the starstruck person.
Okay.
I'm not the type to flock to them. If I have an opportunity to talk to them, that's awesome. But I'm not the type to, hey, let me get a picture. Let me, just let them be. They're people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
They,
mean, there are a couple people that'll be like, dude, come on, we got it. Let me get it. I would.
yeah.
Pitbull being one of them, because I've watched him from Toma when he first started,
Yeah.
and just all the awesome things that he's done.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but I brought it up I think a couple times, but I heard him talking. He was doing an interview, and when he said him and a buddy of his were using football to teach kids math. Blew my god,
Yeah.
blew my mind.
Yeah.
That was like, we've come so far, because I was in school when I was in middle school, was when they just started, deciding, oh, kids don't all learn the same anymore.
Yeah.
We got to change the way that we teach.
That's another topic for another
It
episode.
is. I don't wanna get
I
into
can
it,
go
but-
into
Ooh, me
so
too.
much about that. Just pinpointing people's tangibles
Yes.
needs to be done. Needs
But
to be done.
back to the podcast
There's so much
shouting.
untapped potential out there.
There
We'll
is.
leave it at that.
Yes.
All right, back to the pod shoutouts. We digress. We'll get back into the pod shoutouts.
Yes.
We are going to start with the world's most notorious pop culture podcast with celebrity interviews, reviews, entertainment news, previews, and many more. The Pop Culture Podcast, Zero Dark Nerdy. You can find that at popculturepodcast.com. Next one, this is awesome. They're referring to our podcast shout out.
Oh, all right, cool.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yo
Whoever you
Girl,
are.
Keep It Together is a show where we talk about the things we love, the things we hate, and all
Okay.
things weird. Anchor.fm, Yo Girl, Keep It Together, a
Okay.
podcast by Anchor. Thanks for the support, this gentleman said. Land of the Creeps is a long running horror podcast where we analyze horror movies with a laid back attitude and interactivity with our audience. Landofthecreeps.blogspot.com. Shout out to you guys. Next one is, I believe we shouted this out before, but I'll do it again. Phantom Galaxy. Looking at movies, books, TV shows, music, and animation in a sci-fi, horror, fantasy genres in a fun, laid-back manner.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Getting It Done with Jay Bludden on Apple Podcasts, podcast.apple.com. Getting It Done, that one's labeled. Pro Fans Sports Podcast. That looks like it's on YouTube, so just search Pro Fans Sports Podcast.
All right.
All right, the next one we got is Open Windows by Brazen Veracity, a podcast by Anchor. Motivational real talk about today's topics from a practical Christian perspective.
Cool.
Interesting. Yeah. For all you Christians out there. Uh, let's see. Play it by ear. Open.spotify.com. Three longtime 40-something-year-old friends discuss interest in life experiences while growing up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, as well as raising families and living in today's world. Yeah, that's kind of
Cool.
cool. That's
Yeah.
different. Uh, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Those are all three great
I was
decades.
back then, 70s and 80s,
Yeah,
late 70s.
early 80s for me. I'm an 80s baby. Next one we got is a podcast about the latest sports interviews and bringing on artists onto the show and having a great time. You can find that on youtube.com. E on the mic. We are going to do a few more here. Mixtapes with Mike. You can find that feeds.simplecast.com. Each week, a guest makes a mixtape of 10 tracks without using the artist twice. We talk about each song and what it means to them, and if the listener likes the sound of it, there are links to the mixtape on Apple Music and Spotify. That's a cool one if you're all about music. Mixtapes with Mike. And the last one of the week, we are going to go with the Slack Life Podcast. You can find that at the slacklifepodcast.buzzsprout.com, launching on March 1st. Congratulations. The Slack Life Podcast talks about the relatable struggles. Actually, we gave this a shout out before. I just noticed that.
Okay.
We're coming full round on this post, so we're going to have to post new ones out there.
All
But
right.
I'll continue to give this guy a shout out. He launched on March 1st. I hope you are successful and you have a lot of listeners going at this point in time. The Slack Life podcast talks about relatable struggles of the youth in a comedic manner to give our listeners some slack in their lives. That is your pod shout outs for the week. Hope you guys all have nothing but success and
Yeah.
fun with what you're doing.
And right before DJ pulls up the quote for this week, because we are going to continue that this season, I want to make sure that, you take the time to actually. I know we're putting this out there. Yes, you've heard me say yes. I would love to make money. Yes, I do. But at the same time, I want the engagement with you. I want you to take 5 minutes. Contact us if you have a question. Don't always go through the Gmail. Sometimes I don't see it. I'm working on my notification. I've told some people on the Facebook page that I have been running into notification issues on the Gmail. And as well as sometimes on the Facebook, where DJ might see them, or I guess apparently if my laptop is open, sometimes it hits my laptop first before I don't see it on my phone. But engage with us. The whole part of us following you on this journey and you following us
Is engagement.
is engaging with each other.
Helping each other.
Yes, we're not trying to argue who's right, who's wrong. Obviously, some things are like that, but the
That's
majority,
why we keep politics and religion out of it.
exactly. But it's ultimately we are in the and I said this. I don't know if I put a thing on the Facebook or whatnot, but because of the COVID thing where they say we're in this together or separate. No, that's bullshit. We are in this together.
Yeah.
It's one planet. We're not 7 different planets. We're one planet, 7 different countries forming one planet. We are in this whole life as one. All right, so
Full house moment.
yes. I'm just saying. I hate, and this just stems a little something. Some of you may know that I am in school, and I'm getting my associates and my master in my in management degree to help with all this. And we've got some merch coming out shortly. DJ and I are working on something. We're working on a radio thing. I'm trying to talk them into. We got a possible, maybe even like a TV show type thing working that I'm trying to get on there. But I watched something and it was about like the different cultures and the colors, and I didn't hear intelligence in there, but I threw that in there because a lot of people are judged by that. And there's been several times on the internets or whatever, all the social media
The
platforms,
interwebs.
the interwebs, where someone tried to say that I was racist, and I know I'm trying to grow a brand. We're trying to be synonymous with positivity and bettering yourself and building a better version. And I had to shut them down hard because it's not me. And I've never used culture, color, or intelligence to judge someone. How I look at people, it's what's in here and then what's in here. Your heart and your head. That is it. Okay, I don't mean to blow up our time. So I know it was about like a 5-6 minute thing, but that is the only way, the only way that you make a judgment call on whether or not you would like to be friends with someone or you want them to be a part of your life. What's in their head and what's in their heart. There is nothing else, and it is, and you can't argue with me. Well, you could try, but you'll fail miserably. There is no other reason besides those two things.
And as much as it's said that you might be selfish, does that person help you or not help you? I mean, it's not what is that person going to do for you on a physical level or a financial level. It's more so, does this person bring positivity or negativity into your life?
Exactly.
Because it can sway you either way, and the
And
more
that's in their heart. That's what exactly. Are you a positive person or are you a psychopath?
there you go.
But
All
all right,
right.
here we go. DJ's
Quote
got the
quote of the week.
quote of the week.
It doesn't really come from any source. It's anonymous, I guess that you would go ahead and say.
Okay.
The task ahead of you is never greater than the strength within you.
Ooh.
Say it one more time. The task ahead of you is never greater than the strength within you. That is this week's quote. Again, hope we brought some light to you this week, and we brought some thought-provoking content to you.
If not, I'll get a flashlight.
We will see you guys next week and catch
Yes.
you on the flip side.
Have a good one.
Peace out, guys.
Later.